Yo, what is going on, guys? Winner Kills here, and welcome to the last feature match of the week. Here we are in round 4. We've got Swordsoul, Destiny Swordsoul, versus Madolche on the right. Yeah, my friend Adam piloting the Swordsoul deck, and my friend Sheen piloting the Madolche deck. You guys saw him in the round 2 feature match versus me, yours truly, on the Speedroid strategy. If you guys haven't seen that video yet, I'll leave a link to it up in the top right for you guys to check out. But yeah, as these guys get ready to decide who will go first or second via the die roll, let's take a look at the poll results. Now, I just started the poll about an hour ago from when I'm recording this, and the results are pretty much already in at this point. About 170 votes, about 200 votes maybe by the time the poll goes into the video. And a large majority of the votes saying that Madolche will lose this one. So let's see if you guys are correct. Madolche winning the die roll here, which you love to see, and wanting to go first here. Leading with the Pot of Prosperity, going for a full banish 6. And looks like our Swordsoul player has opened up Imperm, Ash, and Imperial Order. And I think a copy of Emergence, so like a really solid hand for going first, and not a terrible hand for going second either. So off the top, we're going to see a Skullmeister, Madolche, Petting Cessor, and another Prosperity and Ash, and a copy of Crossout Designator. And it looks like he will take the Crossout Designator, and I think I saw a copy of Lancia in the opening hand too for our Madolche player. Small World as well, Imperm, and one other card. But we're going to see him lead with Small World, and this is going to show just how versatile this card is. Going to reveal Lancia to reveal Skullmeister, both which have 1700 attack and nothing else matches. And then the Petting Cessor from the deck, which just matches with Skullmeister, I think, and the only way they match is that they're both level 4. Since Skullmeister, I think, has like 400 defense, 1700 attack is dark, level 4, and it's a Fiend, which does not match anything outside of being a level 4 with that Madolche monster. So he's going to go ahead and spec it and activate its effect to go ahead and summon one from the deck. It's going to be met with Ash. He's going to chain Crossout. He's going to chain Imperm. So, of course, the Crossout will still resolve here. It's not getting negated, but the Ash is getting negated, but Imperm is still, going through and stopping this summon effect to summon from the deck. So, burning 2 hand traps there, but, firing the second hand trap on it might be worthwhile. Especially if they're so willing to burn a Crossout Designator on it. So, and that seems to be the call there. So he will unfortunately have to pass turn. We're going to see a copy of Swordsoul Emergence activate, and it is going to resolve to add a copy of Mo Yeezy. And he's going to go ahead and normal summon Mo Yee, and I think he drew a Long Yun for turn, which is a really, really solid draw. So we'll normal the Mo Yee, reveal the Long Yun, effect to go ahead and summon a token. And we'll see if this is going to resolve. Yeah, he's going to go ahead and Imperm. So the Long Yun can still now summon itself here because he does have the Blackout in hand. And since that is a Swordsoul card, you can actually go ahead and discard it for the Long Yun and summon out that level 4 tuner. Token, Water. And he's going to go ahead and Synchro 8 into Chi Zhao. Chainlink 1 Chi Zhao, Chainlink 2 Mo Yi, draw, and then go ahead and search off Chi Zhao. One of my favorite little interactions in Sword, so I cannot wait to play this deck. It's going to be very, very fun to play. I do like playing a meta deck every now and then. I know I've been playing rogue decks for a better part of the year, but like I do like playing a nice meta deck every now and then. Like earlier in the year, I was on Drytron. Drytron's a deck I still have and could totally still play it. But it doesn't really seem like that much fun to me currently as a deck to play. So I'm just simply opting not to play it. But looks like we're going to see him use Chi Zhao to banish the Blackout in the grave. That'll allow him to summon the token off of Blackout, negating the Petting Cessor, and that's allowing him to get that token on field to be able to synchro into the Baron de Fleur, who was going to burn for 12 when the Long Yun's going to burn for 12 when it was used for synchro material. He'll pop the Madolche monster with Baron's effect and then swing in for 5,800 damage, leaving his opponent down to just a whopping 1,000 life points, and that is about it. Gonna have to play through 2 interruptions plus IO here. And that is going to be easier said than done. So yeah, he's just going to go ahead and pick up the cards, and we're going to head into a game 2 here. Swordsoul up 1 over the Madolche deck. And as they get ready to start here in game 2, I'd like to mention a quick shout out to Imperium Duelist. They may be having a sale going on Cyber Monday, so keep an eye on their site. But in the meantime, don't forget to use my discount code WinnerKills10 off at their site to save 10% off your entire order and support the channel on all the amazing products they have. And if you guys are shopping on TCG Player during their Cyber Monday sale, feel free to use my affiliate link anytime you guys shop and check out. Using that link, a small bit of the revenue from your purchase will go right back in the channel and helps out a ton. Unlike this token collector is helping out our Swordsoul player here, it's not helping out at all. It's going to come in very, very clutch here. It just has a copy of Emergence, Taie, and Lancia in hand. So the only way he's really going to be able to play through this is if he can somehow get like access to an Ecclesia. Normal summon the Ecclesia because Ecclesia is a tuner. But he's just going to go ahead and normal summon the Moe, and then plan B, go right into the Anaconda, pay 2,000, go ahead and dump the Fusion alongside the bricks, getting access to Dasher and Celestial, which is just so insane. Like I think I said it in the last feature match that went up yesterday. Enforcer I think is way more balanced than Dragoon ever will be, which is good that we kind of get a dumbed down version of Dragoon. But the thing that's so insane about the Enforcer engine is the bricks that go along with it. It's like Celestial Dasher allows for just incredible, insane, bonkers even follow-up. I cannot stress that enough. Pot of Greed on the crackback is just insane. But looks like we will see a Nibiru here. And since the Enforcer did not get a chance to pop itself in this instance, then he decided to clear the Anaconda. So he actually will not be able to trigger the graveyard effect of the Enforcer here, which is very unfortunate. But we will see a standby phase Lancia here, and that is going to be pretty clutch at stopping some things like the Small World. Also can turn off Angeli, I believe, and Hoot Cake. So it can turn off an okay amount of cards here, but we're going to see him get Ticket and Salon, some pretty good cards here to have for follow-up. So we're going to summon out both of those monsters via the additional normal summon of the Salon, getting the Messenger Lotto and the Petting Sasur. So we'll see what the move is going to be from here. Doesn't have Hoot Cake in play yet, no Angeli in play yet. We know the end goal typically for the Madolche deck is to just climb into multiple Tiramisus, clear the board, and poke for a ton of damage, setting up promenades in the process. But we're actually going to see him go ahead and crash his Messenger Lotto into the Nibiru token, which is at 2,500 right now because it just cleared out an Enforcer. And that is going to trigger both the effects of Ticket and the Salon. So we'll be able to spec out a Petting Sasur, set a copy of Chateau from the deck, and then go ahead and get Petting Sasur's effect here to go ahead and summon a Madolche from the deck. It's going to go for Angeli, which is another crucial extender. And then continue in the battle phase, Nibiru over the actual Nibiru token for 5. And then hidden for the a bunch of extra damage with the rest of those monsters there. And dropping his opponent down to 1,700. So has made up quite made up a big difference here in life points. Gonna go for the Glass Souffle. Flip up the copy of Chateau. And this Glass Souffle is going to prove to be a little bit more impactful than you may think. Granted, Lancia is going to slow him down just a little bit because, he can't get, full value out of Hoot Cake. He'll just have to get it on the board, and hopefully it survives the turn. Because the monster that Angeli summons, and I'll never forget this now, cannot be destroyed by battle. Also gets shuffled into the deck during the person who summoned its next end phase. But he's also going to get a trigger Glass Souffle's effect here, since a Madolche hit the graveyard. He can shuffle up to 2 cards from the graveyards back in the deck. So he's actually going to be able to put back Celestial into the deck, which is huge. Like, absolutely monumental here for slowing his opponent down in the following turn. Like, I can't stress enough how huge that is. He'll just have to pass on that, but that could potentially outright be enough as is. We know he has a Taie in hand, but he does have a copy of Vishuda, so he's going to go ahead and try to special summon the Vishuda. That will hit the field. He's going to go ahead and link it into a copy of Monk of the Tenyi. And he's going to go ahead and activate Glass Souffle, detach one to protect the Hoot Cake, make it so it's unaffected by monster effects, and then shuffle the Vishuda and the other Madolche back into the deck, and that's going to spell the end of game 2. So Glass Souffle coming in so incredibly clutch in this matchup here. We are already into a game 3 situation. Very, very well played by our Madolche player there, neutralizing the threat of Celestial and then stopping the potential board-breaking card of the Vishuda. Yeah, we're into a game 3. Madolche opting to go first here, well, made to go first by the Swordsoul player, and unfortunately not opening up playable here in game 3. Having just an outright pass, but luckily for him, his opponent also not opening up too optimal, having to lead with Fusion Destiny, which is never a good sign. But I mean, you know, you're setting up a Pot of Greed plus a reoccurring Pankratops and, you know, swinging for 2,500. All your opponent's monsters down by 400 attack and defense. I think just 400 attack, actually, because the Enforcer has that other effect for some reason. So pretty good here. You know, it's not terrible, especially when it's backed up by 3 hand traps, Ash, Valor, and Lancia. And we're going to see our Madolche player lead with a Dark Ruler. We're going to see him normal summon the Madolche. That's going to be met with the Effect Valor. And he's just going to be forced to set 2 and turn. Picks up a copy of Blackout for turn here. Will he be able to make a noteworthy push here this turn? If he has some way to get all the cards out of his hand, he could potentially fire off that Celestial and, you know, completely neutralize the risk of losing it to a Glass Souffle. But I don't think he has the potential to do that. Of course, he could set the Lancia, because you can do that with artifacts, and then pop it on his opponent's turn with the Enforcer to then summon it back out and then trigger the Lancia from field just the same. And then the Ash could be fired off at any other point. But we're going to see him go Battle Phase here, and then we're going to see him activate either Battle Phase or Main Phase. We're just going to see him activate the Promenade, and Promenade is going to attempt to negate the Enforcer by shuffling back a Madolche card. But we're going to go ahead and see him chain the Enforcer, going to hit the Salon and itself, and Enforcer is going to activate Engrave, at least attempt to. It's met with a Skullmeister. Not a too commonly played hand trap, but a pretty clutch one here in this particular moment. Then we're going to see him follow up with Mystic Mine while there's only 1 body on the field, and it's going to, you know, prove to be pretty okay here. He will normal summon, you know, commit that into a Glass Souffle and just kind of sit on that. And now we're just going to see some Mystic Mine back and forth, setting Imperm. Yeah, just back and forth here. Not really any outs yet for a Madolche player. Yeah, pass. And pass back to Swordsoul. Picks up a Mo Yi. I think he has a Sacred Peak in hand as well. You know, do you commit here? Do you wait a little longer? Looks like he is going to commit. Normal summoning the Mo Yi, revealing the copy of Blackout in hand. Is this too early? Does he have the interruption for it? Because that could be pretty bad, and it looks like he does. He does have the Imperm. Imperm on Mo Yi or Taie is really, really strong. Pretty much any normal summon of Swordsoul is a pretty good thing to hit with Imperm, Valor, etc. But we're going to see him set a copy of Blackout, and then the Mystic Mine will die in the end phase. Both players getting a chance to kind of find some card advantage here to, you know, get a good push going. Unfortunately, our push from our Swordsoul player was met with interruption, which you hate to see. We're going to see our Madolche player try to evenly match here, and trying to evenly match for, I think, would have been 3, or 2 at least, because there's 2 cards in the field. So trying to clear some of the back row out of the way, but he's going to be met with a Lancia. Going to stop that outright completely. And we're going to see him activate Glass Souffle here, detaching the Messengelato. And it is going to force out an Imperm here, probably afraid of the graveyard effect of, or losing, well, the Celestial to the Glass Souffle graveyard effect by shuffling up to 2 cards in the graveyard back into the deck. We're going to see him commit the normal summon to Madolche, and he is going to resolve the effect here. Going to go ahead and grab a copy of Angeli. Just gonna say, you know what? Let me take a gander at this here Angeli card. I remember back in the day, like when I first got back into Yu-Gi-Oh in like 2014, Madolche was a powerhouse, and it's still really cool to see that the deck is kind of powerhouse, you know, spam combo deck that can also play a little bit of control. And it's nice to see that cards like Angeli are still absolutely cracked within the deck, and Who Cake, all the OGs. Gotta love to see that. We're going to see a copy of Blackout here to clear the other two monsters and the Moe on the field. So, good little backup plan here. And he does have Summit in hand, so he could bring it back or Peak. And he does have a Blackout in hand, too. Another Blackout to be able to reveal off the Moe, so we could go ahead and get Engine going here. And so long as his opponent doesn't have Ghost Spell, we can go ahead and revive the Peak, or revive with Peak the Moe. Moe effect, reveal Blackout. That's going to get the token here. Does he have the token collector? Looks like he does not. And we're going to go ahead and see him Synchro 8 and 2 Chi-Jiao for the first time here in Game 3. That Starlight Rare coming in clutch. Chainlink 1 Moe, or Chainlink 2 Moe, Chainlink 1 Chi-Jiao. Go and pick up a draw, which I think he actually drew into a Long Yun, which is pretty good. So we're going to see him add a copy of Tai here. And he has not normal summoned yet. So that is something that he has access to since he was able to reborn the Moe. And looks like he's going to be very conservative here, just swinging with the Chi-Jiao. Put him on a one-turn clock. And I'm pretty sure he drew Long Yun. I could be wrong. Maybe I mistook it for some other card, but yeah, just not wanting to commit anymore, and he's just going to go ahead and pass. His opponent is going to lead with a Pot of Prosperity 4-6. And we know he does have the Ash in hand here, so we'll see if he does decide to fire it off. Usually in situations like this, ashing something like Pot is pretty strong. You don't want him to top deck into a game-changing card. And he will that will force the Ash there. And we'll see if our Madolche player has any follow-up here. It's now or never. We're going to see him activate Small World, revealing Angeli. And there's going to be a bit of a cut in the video here because our Small World, or our Madolche player, was taking a little while to figure out what exactly he was going to use as the bridge and where exactly he was going to go with it. This card can be very confusing at times. I've had times where I was revolving Small World and I was like, couldn't for the life of me figure out exactly what my bridge was going to be, and then all of a sudden I'm like, wait, I don't have the right bridge I need, so you have to kind of plan B to a different card. I get it, it totally happens, but he will be able to find his way to Kumongus here, and I'm not exactly sure what the Blackout is being banished for. You cannot negate Chi-Jiao using his own effect because it has to target one other monster on the field, so the token should not be there. That's a little bit of an illegal play, but you know, it happens. It is what it is. I don't really think it matters too much here. Yeah, so he's just going to go ahead and normal the Ecclesia, and that is going to be game thanks to the Kumongus. Swordsoul winning here 2-1. If you guys want to see more of my content, click on one of the videos popping up at the bottom of the screen right now. And last but not least, a special thanks goes to our Divine level channel members who go above and beyond to support this channel. And they are Cadillac City 4, Pony Start, Keith Sidgers, and Tweeter0226. Thank you guys so much, as always, for your extremely generous support.